Alright, my friends, the Roulette of Sadness continues with the next game, the Stanley Parable on Steam, playing on the PC. Um, I actually bought this game many years ago because I watched people like live streaming this, and I found it interesting the fact that basically the whole replay value thing, the fact of doing multiple playthroughs, getting multiple endings. There is a special version, Ultra Deluxe, which I do not have. This is just a regular Stanley Parable. That Ultra Deluxe version has even more endings. There's a total like 40 something endings. I might be exaggerating, but I don't know. I just want to play the game, experiencing it for the first time after basically buying it because of I watched other people playing it, and see how many endings I can actually get. I bet it's. I mean, it depends on the choices you make throughout the playthrough, throughout the game. But for the sake of this show, I would like to do a few playthroughs to see how interesting it gets, and we can move on to the next game and then resume and play this again to get extra endings. I know there is multiple possibilities. That the playthrough itself to get the full completion is takes several hours, but again, for the sake of the show, I'm not gonna commit to complete everything to get everything right now. Okay, so we're gonna do what we can. Let's take a look at the options here. Uh, 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 uh. I'm especially interested in the subtitles, if they are activated or not. I guess we're okay. Let's begin. I remember activating the subtitles last time. I don't know if that actually gets saved. And the game is suddenly stuck. Okay, there it is. Now it's loading.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, is it time for me to move? Yes. Yeah, that's a weird job, pressing buttons. I don't know. There is a lot of things to do if there is no orders coming through. Honestly, can I interact with these things? Actually, haven't paid attention to the controls. If that's keyboard, mouse, edit keys. This is for moving. The duck control actions. Okay, mouse, yes. Yeah, there is interaction with the doors.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah, basically the narrator is adapting to what I'm currently doing. Instead of going to the meeting room right away, I keep exploring and looking for co-workers. I mean, I'm not quite doing that because I know they're all gone, but you know what I mean. Okay, where is the meeting room? Any indication whatsoever? Some spreadsheets. All these doors are locked. All of these workers have their own office. That's actually kind of cool. They don't share like a common space in which they put a bunch of desks.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, let's be predictable and let's follow what the narrator indicates. We can do the opposite, but let's leave it for a later playthrough. How obedient. And of course, I'm trapped.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on another coworker. Okay, that's not a good advice. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Is there a thing such as a whiteboard manager? Meeting schedule. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write something day's agenda. Okay, writing is not like the clearest. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of blurred. Is it censorship? Wait. The boss appreciation minute. Okay, how to suck dicks, essentially. Is this the boss office? It's a broom closet. Hey, this actually works.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yeah, like I said, today we are gonna be obedient. We're gonna follow the instructions.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright. More branching paths. Is that the one? No. Is this the office? Kind of weirdly located. Executive bathroom. Also locked. Which means there is somebody inside, right? No.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Which is right here? Yes. Just by pressing random numbers. Sure, narrator. Not taking any responsibility. Oh, this is too dark. Kind of scary. I don't want scare jumps in this game, please. Not a fan of those. Wait, can I go anywhere? What kind of dark secret my boss is hiding? I'm kind of scared. A little bit.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
So basically because he's been doing the same thing every day, every year. So now he's doing pretty much something different. But he's been forced to because there is nobody around.
Straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Now what?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Uh-oh.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
All of these are monitors? Oh wait. More desks. Oh, let's activate the cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I mean, shouldn't be new. I mean, did we know actually that we have been like monitored all the time? No, what?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
That's what I was actually wondering.
Spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
It would be great to know how to do that. I saw something about mind controls. Awaiting inputs. I guess this is what I should be doing. So yeah, it's not just a matter of being, you know.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay, yeah, they're not just being monitored all the time, but apparently controlled. I don't know how. I guess by this system thing. Let's turn it off. Okay, we turn off the game. Wait, I'm moving. But this is all dark.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly...
Oh, it's a door, I just noticed.
...reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Yeah, there is one problem with that though. I'm fired.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So yeah, we got, I guess, well, we might consider a good ending. Okay, and then we start again. Yeah, I got the achievement of beating the game. Essentially, getting one ending, and instead of dealing with credits and everything, you start all over. So you can start another playthrough. That's good, actually. That was a good start. Basically, following the narrator's instructions in general, and basically getting away with things, even though I got fired. Anyway, so yeah, this is interesting. Actually, I'm gonna keep playing this, do some more playthroughs, and explore more possibilities for potential endings. So I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you for watching.